This is a typical dough for egg-based pasta, or what's known collectively as pasta alla uovo. Okay, in here I have a combination of all-purpose and bread flour. Really a ratio of 2 parts all-purpose and 1 part bread flour. And this particular combination I devised to imitate what in Italy is referred to as tipo 00, type 00 flour, which is often used to make these type of fresh pasta. I'm going to go on ahead, add my eggs. Okay, for every 2 cups of flour, I add 3 large eggs. Okay, salt is already in with the flour. I'm going to proceed and going to add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. In this case, is extra virgin olive oil. And then I'm going to proceed to prepare the dough. Now, this particular method is sort of a modification of traditional method. Okay, notice I made a well in the center of the flour. I added my liquid ingredients. Okay, traditionally in Italy, the flour will be put directly on the work surface, and again, you make sort of like a large crater, add your liquid ingredients, and draw the flour in. I'm doing a modification of that, essentially because of cleaning up considerations. Okay, so I'm doing my little, what in Italy they would call a fontana, or a fountain, in a bowl. And, oh, before I forget, along with my 3 eggs, my 2 tablespoons of olive oil, what I'm going to do is add, I'm going to start with about 3 tablespoons of water. Okay, so with this in mind, okay, I'm going to just get in there and draw the flour into my batter-like mass of liquid ingredients. And at some point, okay, I'm going to take off these gloves. Okay, I'll be very mindful of fastidiously washing my hands. But I find especially pasta dough, you really want to be able to feel the texture of the dough develop. Ultimately, what we're looking for is a dough that, in terms of consistency, is smooth. In terms of texture, it's quite elastic. Okay, so what we're going to do is proceed. Okay, let me scrape some of that off. Okay, yes, the gloves, going to come off because now we mean business. Okay, and I'm going to fold all the dry ingredients and turn now this mass of, let's call it dough to be, out to a, I would say, lightly floured surface. I don't like to add all my flour at once, okay, because, it's one thing if your dough's a little too wet, okay, you can always add more flour. I find that it's better that the dough is initially a little bit too wet, because it's very easy to add more flour. When dough's dry, it's a little more problematic. Typically, what we do, okay, is if the dough is too dry, we add water directly onto the surface, put our forming dough on top of that, and just knead in the extra water. But that takes a little more time, a little more effort. So, now we're going to transition from essentially a mixing mode into a kneading mode, because now it will be time, once I get all the ingredients incorporated, which is about now. Okay, now's the time from combining the ingredients to actually developing the gluten, okay, or the gluten protein in the flours, to begin to give our dough some structure, some elasticity, and the texture that we desire. So simply put, Okay, I'm a right-handed person, so what I do, I take my dough in my right hand, give it a quarter turn, fold it over in itself. Okay, with the heel of my hand, give it a push. Okay, keep on repeating. You know, perhaps I have some music. I do it to the music. It's a very rhythmic sort of movement. And my goal is to use all the flour. You see all what now is extra flour on the surface. Okay, so in this respect, all ingredients are utilized. But I could feel the dough beginning to shape. Okay, it's not overly dry. It's still, as I push down into the center of the dough, I still feel a little wetness. But that is disappearing. Okay, and so there's a little extra flour. I'm gonna just kind of do a little sprinkling, a couple of drops of water. This is room temperature water. Okay, and then just proceed, just kind of like scooping up all that extra flour that I see. Now, if it's a little sticky initially, I'll just add a little sprinkling of flour just to get over that surface stickiness. And, sometimes there are a lot of factors. There are a lot of factors that might affect the recipe. Again, if let's say I did not have bread flour or type 00 flour, just had all-purpose flour. Okay, this dough is a softer flour. It has less protein, less gluten. Okay, has a little bit of maybe not quite the absorption behavior as a higher protein flour might have, and so I might need more flour. Sometimes it's the humidity. Okay, you think of a typical kitchen of a hot, humid summer day. Okay, a lot of humidity in the air. Sometimes that will also demand the addition of more flour. Okay, but this is coming along pretty well. Okay, I'm going to need this for, I would say, another 7 to 8 minutes. Already it's becoming nice and elastic. You may be able to discern that as I knead it and push it, it springs back. Okay, it kind of springs back like that. So that's kind of what we want. I no longer discern that stickiness on the inside. Okay, let me just show you. Okay, kind of what it looks like now. Again, it's about, I would say, a little past the halfway mark, but you see, nice and smooth. I give it the little poke test. Okay, you see when I poke it, it bounces right back. Okay, I'm going to give this, again, another like 4 or 5 minutes, get it nice and bouncy, and then we'll go on to the next step.